We're running out of time, Anubarak. How far are we from the exit?
Not far. We have entered the Upper Kingdom. The exit should lead us to the base of the glacier itself. However, there are still hidden traps and pitfalls to account for.
Take cover! Arthas! The entire passage collapsed. There's no time to dig through this. I'll have to move quickly and find my own way out. Hopefully Anubarak and the others survived. Frostmourne hungers. You will know endless torment. This is more like it. I'll be singed if I get too close to those flames. At last, Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. I'll need this gold for when I reach the glacier. Or the Lich King. Finally, Frostmourne hungers. More of the Nerubian's blasted mechanisms. I'll have to time this perfectly. Finally, Frostmourne hungers. Finally, Frostmourne hungers. Finally. At last. This is more like it. At last. Finally. This is more like it. Our hero has been killed. We're running out of time, Anubarak. How far are we from the exit?
Not far.
At last. You will know endless torment. Finally. I'll be singed if I get too close to those flames. This is more like it. I'll need this gold for when I reach the glacier. This is more like it. Finally. More of the Nerubian's blasted mechanisms. I'll have to time this perfectly. Finally. At last. Finally. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. At last. Your pain shall be legendary. This is more like it. You will know endless torment. At last. This is more like it. Finally, more gold. This might help us later. Last. Another quake? At last. For the Lich King. Frostmourne hungers. What is it now? Now, Frostmourne. Finally. Your pain shall be legendary. At last. Now, Frostmourne. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. At last. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Finally. At last. Your pain shall be legendary. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Finally. At last. faithless coward.
Finally. This is more like it. At last.
Now, Frostborn. Frostborn hunger.
At last. This is more like it. Finally.
Inventory is full.
Frostborn hungers. At last. Frostborn hungers. At last. Finally. Frostborn hungers.
I must find a way across this strange obstacle.
Hungers. At last. This is more like it. Finally. Frostborn hungers. Finally.
You will know endless torment.
This is more like it. Finally. Frostborn hungers. At last. Frostborn hungers. At last. Finally. At last. Frostborn hungers. This is more like it. At last. Finally. This is more like it. Finally. At last. Finally. This is more like it.
Now, Frostborn.
At last. This is more like it. Frostborn hungers. Finally. Frostborn hungers. Finally. This is more like it. Frostborn hungers. Finally. At last. Frostborn hungers. Finally. Frostborn hungers.
Anubarak, you made it.
I see now why the Lich King chose you as his champion, Death Knight. Few men could have survived this labyrinth alone.
For the Lich King. Your pain shall be legendary.
Another earthquake. We must hurry, Death Knight. I'll see to it. Indubitably. Kinky. By Nerub. Kinky. By Nerub. Kinky. Indubitably. I'll consume the living and the dead. Indubitably. I'll consume the living and the dead. I'll see to it. By Nerub. Kinky. Indubitably.
Speak, fool. Tread lightly.
Finally. This is more like it.
Something's breaking through. Defensive positions!
I'll see to it.
At last. Frostborn hungers. Finally. At last.
Your pain shall be legendary.
at last. This is more like it.
We're running out of time. We must find the exit.
Faithless coward.
At last. Finally. At last. Finally. At last.
They're blocking the way to the exit. We'll have to fight our way through them to reach it. Feel the venom of Noob!
Frostborn hungers. At last. This is more like it.
Indubitably.
Frostborn hungers. This is more like it. At last.
Your pain shall let you.
Frostborn hunger.
I'll make sure you suffer.
This is more like it.
No one orders me around.
Time is fleeting. By Neru.
What is it now? Frostborn hungers. At last.
Now quickly, head through that door. The exit to the surface lies just beyond.
It'll be good to see the sun again.
Remember, Illidan and the true battle still await us in the world above. Hopefully our trek through the Dark Earth brought us the precious time we needed.